Did you know that the majority of people that interview fail to send a thank you note afterward? The good thing about this is when you send yours, you'll stand out from the crowd as being thoughtful and courteous, someone that respects the time that they took out of their busy schedules to meet with you. It also gives you a chance to reinforce your qualifications for the position. Send the thank you note or email no more than 24 hours after your interview. You should send your thank you note to each person you interviewed with. Try to get a business card from each person you meet with and send each a separate note. This way, you'll have the correct spelling of their name, their correct title, their address, phone number, and email when you're writing your thank you notes. Each note should be a separate thank you written towards each person, not a carbon copy. For example, perhaps you had a panel interview and you met with the HR director, 3 would-be coworkers, and 1 would-be boss. Send each a different thank you note. Don't forget to also send thank you notes to each of your references. They took the time out of their busy schedules to help you out. Take the time out of your busy schedule to thank them properly. Also, consider sending thank you notes to anyone that gave you a lead or has assisted you in any way along your job search journey. A lot of folks struggle as to what to say in their thank you notes. Whatever you do, don't copy line for line from a book or something you found on the internet. Be professional, polite, and let your own personality shine through. Not straight from Joe Schmo's www.bestthankyoulettersever.com. Let's look at a few suggestions on what to include. First of all, thank them for taking the time to meet with you. Convey excitement and interest in the position, and thank them for the information you received during the interview. Reiterate your top qualifications for the job. Try to include unique things that make you the perfect candidate for the position. Align yourself with the expectations of the employer for this particular position by highlighting a couple of the things the interviewers singled out as the most important to perform this specific job and how you can outperform those expectations. Add any additional information you may have forgotten to mention during the interview. Give them your contact information once again. Be sure to include your email and cell phone. Conclude with a sentence such as, "Thank you for your time and consideration." Use respectfully or sincerely as your closing. A lot of times I've heard people say that you should tell them when you will be back in touch. I personally think that this is a bit pushy. They have your contact information. The time and date you specify may not be a good time of the day for them. Instead, let them contact you at a time convenient for them by saying, "I'll look forward to hearing from you soon," after giving them your contact information. This is much more respectful and considerate of their time and schedule, unless, of course, you're in sales and this type of action is expected and respected by the interviewer. Or the interviewer stated a time and date during the interview for you to get in touch with them, such as, "Hey, give me a call on Friday at 2. We should know of our decision by that time." Of course, this isn't very common. What about countries other than America? Should you send a thank you note? Once again, it depends. In this case, in which country you live. In some countries, such as Japan, sending a thank you note is not expected. There, you may instead need to send a small gift as an expression of gratitude to someone that gave you the job lead. In most of Europe and the UK, thank you notes are not traditionally sent, and the employer is the one that is expected to do the following up. And if you're in Latin America, it's your choice. If given the choice, I would say, go for it. It certainly wouldn't hurt your chances to take it a step further than other candidates. As for Rome, I would say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. You get my point, even if it is a bit silly. Just be sure to follow the etiquette of the country for which you are applying. Should you use the formal and traditional means of sending a thank you note through snail mail, or is it appropriate to send your thank you via email? It's another of those "it depends" answers. If the company or interviewer is more traditional, you should send via snail mail. On the other hand, if all of your correspondence thus far has been using electronic means, then you may continue in this vein. Also, sometimes there is a sense of urgency as far as time is concerned. Do you know if you were one of the last candidates that they were interviewing? Do you know when they will be making a decision? If time is of concern, you may opt out for a quicker email thank you just so you are certain they receive prior to making their decision. Sending a thank you note may just well be your cincher in getting the job. It shows you have proper etiquette and manners. It can be yet another way of restating your qualifications, and it puts you in front of the interviewer once again. Since there are so many others that are no longer showing this respect for the employer's time and consideration, it is yet another way of making you and your qualifications stand out from the crowd. Don't miss this important step in cinching the deal by showing your esteem and respect for the employer, your excitement about the job, and how your top qualifications make you the best candidate for the position.